Hi there, this is Chris, Chap from the Cap, Motolegends. Today I'm going to talk to you about a service that we've launched called Ask the Chap. Now, over the years that we've been in the motorcycle business, explaining how gear works, explaining what you need for your kind of riding has become a bit of a Motolegends thing. And that was something that Sarah and I agreed upon many years ago when we first opened our doors. And that was for one main reason. We had been motorcyclists for some 20 years before we got into this particular business, but nobody ever explained anything to us about motorcycle gear. In those early years, we bought lots of different outfits, but we had no idea what we were buying or why. At the very beginning, we got leather suits because, let's face it, that's what everyone else seemed to be wearing. But we had no clue, for example, what a membrane was. We didn't know that a membrane existed. We didn't know that you could even stay dry on a motorcycle. And nobody talked to us about what we could do to try to stay warm. We had no inkling what would be the best style of boots for our kind of riding, nor what would be the best gloves for us. We bought our helmets simply because they looked great and matched the colours of our bikes. We were absolutely clueless, and it's why we have always done, as part of our ongoing marketing, we've done blog pieces, written articles, bulletins and videos explaining how gear works. Things like, for example, the difference between a drop liner waterproof membrane and a laminated membrane, about the difference between single layer jeans and Kevlar or line jeans. And we've spoken about things like layering and how important having the correct base layers is if you want to stay warm and dry on the bike. But still today, many visitors who come to see us in the shop don't really know where to start. They don't know what they need. They don't know how much they need to be spending. They might understand, for example, that they want to be protected. That's pretty obvious, but they do not understand basic principles such as what parts of an outfit are going to give them abrasion resistance and what parts of an outfit are going to give them impact protection. And they certainly don't understand, once they bought gear, what constitutes a good fit. And that's why we've set up this particular service. There are lots of motorcyclists out there, I suspect, who have questions about motorcycle gear that they'd like to have answered. But here in the shop, we often see customers who come in and they're kind of bluffing a little bit. They're hoping to sound a little bit more knowledgeable than they actually are. And I suspect that that's because they don't want to look foolish, perhaps. Personally, that lack of knowledge in a customer, that doesn't bother us. They don't get treated any differently when they come into the shop. But I think it's probably a little bit like when we're at school. Nobody wants to be the person who puts his hand up and asks a question in case they end up looking stupid and people laugh at them. And I suspect that there's a little bit of that going on with motorcyclists. So here's how our service works. If you have a question, send it to us as an email to askthechap@motolegends.com. I would ask you not to leave it as a comment at the bottom of this video. We don't look at those every day. That's not our main medium for communicating with customers. If you have a question, send us an email, askthechap@motolegends.com. We will get back to you. And if we think that the point you have made or the question you've asked is going to be of broader interest, we will actually make a video about it and put it up on YouTube. Let me state first, however, a couple of parameters. This is about generic questions, not personal ones. I can't answer those in an email. So if you want to know what jacket's going to work in particular because you've got 4-foot legs and a 56-inch stomach, I don't think that's what this service is about. Nor can we really get into, I think, brand comparisons. So if you ask us what's best, an Alpenstars ABC or a Dainese DEF, we don't know. We don't know every jacket. I don't think we can make those comparisons. You've got to go out and try those on and work out for yourself which one works for you. If you've got questions like, I'm going across America next year, what kind of gear should I have for a journey like that? It's going to be hot some days, it's going to rain, it's going to be cold. That's the kind of questions we are looking for. We are looking to dispense what I suppose you would call technical advice. Things like, why are flip lids quieter than full face helmets? What is the difference between mesh and Bluetooth? I've heard of EN 17092. How does that differ as a safety standard with EN 13595? I've heard of Outlast. How does it work? What is Outlast? How do I keep the visor on my motorcycle helmet clean of condensation? Questions like that. So if there are things that you want to know about motorcycle clothing, send us an email. But please understand, this is a serious attempt to help motorcyclists. Send us a silly question and we will just ignore it. Don't write to us and say, why didn't Rucker replace my 4-year-old Zip? That's not what this service is about. If you've got a customer service query, call us. Here at Motolegends, we simply live, motorcycling day in, day out, 7 days a week. We talk to thousands of customers. We talk regularly to the manufacturers, we talk to their designers, we talk to the test houses. As a result of this, we actually know a lot about motorcycle clothing. For you, it's different. You've probably got a proper job. If you're a plumber, I'm not going to tell you how to fix my toilet. There's no earthly reason why you would have an intimate knowledge of how gear works in the way that we do. So don't be embarrassed. If you're confused, simply ask us. Now, I may not know the answer to every question, but if I don't, I will know a man who can help. You're not going to get the kind of answers we're talking about out of most dealers because, frankly, most dealers either don't know or don't care. And you won't get anything meaningful out of the press because the press are influenced by the advertising budgets that these manufacturers are spending with them, so they are not objective ever in the advice they give. Of course, you can go onto a forum and there you will find some very strongly, very vehemently held opinions, but normally based on a sample of one. So, in conclusion, if you have a serious question, ask the chap.